In a packed federal courtroom at Arlington Federal Courthouse, Lieutenant Commander Selene Torres sits motionless in her wheelchair as Judge Silas Wentworth stares at her Silver Star medal with barely concealed contempt. The morning air carries tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Spectators shift uncomfortably in their seats as his voice cuts through the silence like a blade. "Remove that medal, Miss Torres," he demands, emphasizing Miss with thinly veiled mockery. "This court will not tolerate stolen valor." The gallery erupts in whispers. Some look away uncomfortably, while others stare openly at the unfolding spectacle. With deliberate calmness that belies the public humiliation, Selene unpins her Silver Star and places it on the witness stand. The small metallic clink echoes through the tense silence like a gunshot. Judge Wentworth nods with smug satisfaction, clearly believing he's exposed a fraud. But he has no idea who he's really dealing with. No one in that courtroom knows the classified truth about Lieutenant Commander Torres until Admiral Ward walks through those doors, carrying a sealed manila folder that will destroy Wentworth's career in 60 seconds. The case against Sentinel Global Security had drawn significant media attention. Selene was there to testify about faulty tactical equipment that had failed during Operation Desert Storm, costing American lives. But Judge Wentworth seemed determined to discredit her from the moment she entered his courtroom. "State your qualifications for evaluating military equipment," defense attorney Damian Cortez had demanded during cross-examination. "I have first-hand operational experience with the equipment in question." "Operational experience?" Cortez's voice dripped with condescension. "As what, a desk analyst?" Chuckles rippled through the defense table. Judge Wentworth made no effort to maintain order. "Your Honor, my full credentials are classified under federal security protocols." Wentworth's eyes narrowed dangerously. "This court doesn't operate on secrecy, Miss Torres. If you cannot verify your qualifications, your testimony is worthless." The prosecutor, Julian Marquez, attempted to object. "Your Honor, the witness has proper clearance." "Overruled," Wentworth snapped, his attention fixed on Selene's Silver Star pin. "In fact, I find it highly suspicious that someone making these grand claims would wear a decoration she clearly hasn't earned." The courtroom fell deathly silent. Every eye turned to Selene, whose expression remained impassive despite the public humiliation. "Are you aware that impersonating a veteran is a federal offense?" Wentworth continued, his voice carrying through the hushed courtroom. "I am not impersonating anyone, Your Honor." "Then explain that medal." "It was awarded to me, sir." Laughter erupted from the defense table. Even Wentworth's mouth curved into a cruel smirk. "I've presided over cases involving Navy SEALs, Miss Torres. I know their caliber. I know what it takes to earn a Silver Star. Someone in your condition could never have performed the actions required for such recognition." The prosecutor rose quickly. "Your Honor, this is completely inappropriate." "Sit down, counselor." Wentworth's voice cut like steel. "This court will not be a stage for stolen valor. Remove that pin immediately or I'll hold you in contempt." That's when the courtroom doors opened. Admiral Ward entered, his uniform decorated with 25 years of distinguished service ribbons. He carried a sealed manila folder marked with classification stamps. His presence commanded immediate attention. Even Judge Wentworth seemed taken aback. "Your Honor," announced Admiral Ward formally, "permission to approach as a representative of Naval Special Warfare Command." Wentworth hesitated, clearly flustered by the interruption. "You may approach." Admiral Ward strode forward, his polished shoes clicking against the marble floor. He presented his credentials to the bailiff, who handed them to Wentworth along with the sealed folder. "This witness has been operating under a limited disclosure agreement," Ward stated firmly. "Due to this unusual line of questioning, I'm authorized to release her full service record." Wentworth's face registered surprise, then something approaching apprehension. He accepted the folder with visibly trembling fingers, breaking the classified seal with hands that seemed far less steady than before. As the judge began to read, Selene noticed his complexion shift from confident pink to ashen gray. His eyes moved rapidly across each page, widening with every line he absorbed. The transformation was remarkable, from imperious authority to increasingly disturbed recognition. Admiral Ward stood at parade rest, waiting. The courtroom remained absolutely still, collective breath held as they watched Judge Wentworth's world crumble page by page. "Your Honor," Prosecutor Marquez ventured after several long moments, "may we know the contents of that document?" Wentworth looked up, meeting Selene's gaze for the first time with something entirely new in his eyes. Not contempt now, but dawning horror of recognition. Admiral Ward cleared his throat. "With your permission, Judge, I'll summarize for the court." Wentworth didn't respond, seemingly unable to find his voice. Ward took the silence as consent. Lieutenant Commander Selene Torres served with SEAL Team 6 for 8 years. She completed 4 combat tours and led 32 high-value target extractions. She was awarded the Silver Star, 2 Bronze Stars with Valor, and a Purple Heart. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. Commander Torres was gravely wounded during Operation Neptune Spear, the mission that eliminated Osama bin Laden. While extracting the team under heavy fire, she sustained spinal injuries that left her paralyzed from the waist down. Ward paused, turning to face Judge Wentworth directly. "One of those team members she saved was Lieutenant Dante Rourke, your son, Judge." The courtroom erupted. Judge Wentworth's face had gone completely white, his hands visibly shaking as they clutched the folder. Twice he tried to speak, but no words emerged. Ward continued relentlessly. "Lieutenant Commander Torres personally carried your son to the extraction point despite sustaining multiple gunshot wounds. She saved his life and the lives of 8 other SEALs at the cost of her own mobility." Where moments before there had been mockery and skepticism, now there was stunned silence. Selene remained composed, though her eyes never left Wentworth's face. Furthermore, Ward produced a second document. These are communication records between Judge Wentworth and Sentinel Global Security executives discussing how to discredit any witnesses who might mention classified operations. The prosecutor scanned the document, his expression shifting from confusion to shock to barely contained outrage. "Your Honor, I move for an immediate mistrial on grounds of judicial misconduct and criminal conspiracy." But Wentworth was already standing, his career collapsing around him like a house of cards. The man who had tried to strip away her honor now faced his own reckoning. As he was escorted from the bench, his eyes met Selene's one final time. In them, she saw not just fear, but the terrible recognition of what she had sacrificed for his family, for his son, Lieutenant Dante Rourke, who was alive today because of her actions. The courtroom remained in chaos as the chief judge was called to take over proceedings. Through it all, Selene sat calmly at the witness stand, watching the system of justice slowly right itself. Admiral Ward approached her. "Commander Torres, on behalf of the Navy, I apologize for what transpired here today." "No apology necessary, Admiral. I've endured worse." "Indeed you have." His voice carried deep respect. "Dante has been trying to reach you for months. He wanted to testify about the equipment failures, but his uncle made sure he was silenced." Selene nodded. She had wondered why the young SEAL she had saved had never come forward. Now she understood the web of corruption that had kept him quiet. The new presiding judge called the court to order. "In light of extraordinary circumstances, I am declaring a mistrial. Judge Wentworth's actions constitute a clear violation of judicial ethics and potential criminal obstruction of justice." Selene calmly retrieved her Silver Star from the witness stand, pinning it back to her uniform with steady hands. The small medal caught the courtroom lights, a symbol of valor that no corrupt judge could diminish. As she wheeled towards the exit, something remarkable happened. One by one, every service member in the gallery stood at attention. The silent salute spread through the room, a recognition that justice, like healing, came in its own time. The mission was complete.